Hello everybody, it's TannerFishies here, back again with a new Ninjago video here on the channel. First things first, sorry for not uploading yesterday. I woke up kind of tired with a big headache, so I just kind of relaxed all day yesterday. But we're back now, everything's okay, I'm okay, hopefully you guys are okay. And let's talk about some Ninjago trivia. Now, Ninjago trivia is always extremely fun to go back through to find lesser known facts about the Ninjago storyline that a lot of people might not have heard before. And in today's video, we're going to be discussing a very kind of offensive Ninjago trivia fact coming from the Royal Blacksmiths episode, which of course is going to be episode 9 of season 1. Now, this episode overall doesn't really have many offensive moments in it. It's not a great episode in comparison to the other season 1 episodes in my opinion, but it's still decent enough. You know, it's still a fine episode, and it has a lot of really cool father-son moments between Cole and his dad Lou. But the part about this episode that is sort of, I guess, offensive, if you will, comes in the form of this guy, the announcer on stage. Now, this guy, aside from being quite the handsome gentleman, actually holds a card with some notes on it. Now, these notes themselves actually hold some type of significance because written on the card is a bad word. Wow, how dare they? How dare you, Ninjago? How dare you include a bad word on a card that hardly anyone is gonna see? But no, in all seriousness, the card that the announcer is actually holding does indeed contain a swear word. And it's not some regular bad word like heck or frick, if you will. It's actually something else entirely different. And I'm not going to be saying this word on this channel because I do not want to risk getting demonetized, so I'll probably just bleep it or something. I'm not against swearing as a person. I know some people are. I'm not against using foul language. Feel free to check out my Instagram to hear me say all the bad words you want. But let's go ahead and zoom and enhance on this card. Oh yeah, there's a bad word there. For those of you that are skeptical, here is the highlighted version of it and where you can see the bad word. I have highlighted the bad word in red so you can see it while also still censoring it because, like I said, I want to keep my job. Now, for those of you guys that are still skeptical, here is the full list of words that the announcer's card actually says, written in a little bit more of a comprehensible format. And once again, thank you to the Ninjago Wiki for giving us this full list. The announcer's notes read as follows. Tonight's notes open with joke about the conductor's bow tie, present judges, act troublemakers, don't sound like an asshole this evening. Remember, charm, confidence, delicious hair. Yeah, it literally says the bad word right there. Now, yeah, this exists, it's really here, but how did Ninjago get away with this? Well, for one, let me go ahead and talk about how I honestly think that it's surprising that this wasn't removed, considering some of the ridiculous censorship that season 1 actually implemented into other scenes. For example, in episode 4, Never Trust a Snake, in the scene where Jay is in the elevator trying to go up to the top of the tower to confront Pythor and a young Lloyd, in the original cut you could see that they had the word sucks written on the side of the elevator. In the context, school sucks. Now, of course, this isn't really a super bad word by comparison, but this was cut too. I'm not exactly sure if this was a regional thing, but I remember seeing the original school sucks thing printed on the side of the elevator when I first watched this episode way back in the day. And of course, me being an 11-year-old kid at the time, I was quite surprised. I was like, whoa, Ninjago actually went there. That's crazy. Nowadays, I recognize that the phrase school sucks isn't really a terrible thing to say, and in fact, it's actually quite accurate. But yeah, every other time I ended up watching that episode, they ended up replacing the side of the elevator with just a mirrored version of the other side, and I remember that original cut very vividly. And nowadays, I'm kind of confused why they ended up doing that. Like, where's the consistency right here? Why did they censor this scene in the elevator, but leave this blatant bad word written on this card? This is arguably a badder word, or a worse word to say, than the school sucks thing that was initially cut from episode 4. Episode 9 did it a lot worse, so why wasn't it cut? I suppose in comparison, the card itself was kind of more difficult to spot and more difficult to get a closer look at, because during the scene, the announcer is just kind of waving that thing around left and right. There's not like a still image set on it to my knowledge, and I suppose it would be kind of difficult to make out what was on the card originally. I certainly didn't know about this until much later on in my Ninjago career. But still, where's the consistency? say. It kind of makes me think that the Ninjago editors did not notice the card, much like several audience members did, and that's why it's still in here. Now, in terms of whether or not I'm upset about this, obviously not. I don't feel like swearing is the worst possible thing that a human being can do, though I understand that some people do indeed think that way. I, for one, am open to bad words. I've used them a lot on other social media where I'm not constantly being monitored and getting paid for my work, so do keep that in mind. But in terms of Ninjago's past controversies and censorships, we do not see this a lot in terms of, I guess, foul language being used here. The only big controversies that I've seen regarding Ninjago and some censorship surrounding that has to do with the ninjas' elemental powers. Certain areas restrict certain aspects of their world, which do fall in line with real-world concerns over witchcraft, and I know there's some religion-based stuff in there too. I'm not really super educated on that kind of stuff, but I understand that other territories are going to have certain concerns over the ninja using elemental powers. And as such, I do know of cases where Ninjago has been restricted in certain countries or censored in other places, along with several other shows and productions that deal with a lot of the same stuff, with people using elemental powers, because like I said, it could indeed relate back to witchcraft and very much go against some forms of religion in certain areas of the world. At the end of the day, like I said, I do not really care what Ninjago does. Obviously, we wouldn't really see a lot of this kind of stuff in the modern day. There hasn't really been any more instances of this. This is simply an early example of Ninjago censorship. At the end of the day, they are all plastic ninjas, so how offensive are they going to be by default? I don't think Ninjago is a very offensive show to watch, though once again, I am quite curious as to how Ninjago actually got away with including a word such as this on the announcer's notes. Was this simply overlooked by various Ninjago editors at the time and various Ninjago showrunners, and whose idea was it to originally include something like this in the episode? Was it simply just a random gag or Easter egg? Or was it just a placeholder that never actually ended up getting removed in the final product? I find this to be extremely funny, though I wonder if certain other members of the community would find this as amusing as I do. Will there be people that drop the show over this if they eventually do find out? I am quite curious to see what your guys' comments are going to be, so let's turn it over to you guys down below in the comments section. Let me know down below in the comments what you think about this, you guys. That's going to pretty much wrap it up for my thoughts here today. Just a quick video giving you guys a little bit of Ninjago trivia that you may not have known, and also talking about some other censorship that Ninjago has dealt with over the course of its earlier run. So thank you so much for watching. If you found this video interesting, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. That very much helps out the channel and helps me out quite a bit as well. Feel free to leave a comment down below talking about what you think about this. Did you notice what the announcer's notes said before when you watched Ninjago a long time ago, or are you like me and you are just now realizing it? And also let me know if you noticed the elevator detail as well. That one I very much noticed from my childhood, and it always kind of bothered me. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Big shout out goes out to my Patreon supporters, including once again the marvelous Jan. Thank you very much for checking out this video. My name is TannerFishies, and with that I bid you farewell.